This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings, and round me rings the music of the spheres. It was the very first song I ever learned in Sunday school, at least the only one I can remember. It was not only important in those days, but has become very important over the years, particularly when I feel ungrounded, out of touch, when the world doesn't make sense to me anymore, when life seems to be chaotic, confusing. I find that song pops back into my head. This is my Father's world. It was a piece that the girls reminded me of last week as we hung out together. What wonder there is in that created order. The awe, the sacredness, the holiness of all creation. From chasing fireflies to just staring at birds through the window at the bird feeder, to marveling at the flowers, the trees, and the skies and clouds, to sit beside the water's edge and listen. Oh, to see the world through their eyes was a true gift, and a reminder that it's so easy for us these days to lose sight of that. I think we caught a glimpse of how important that created order is back when COVID first hit and we were totally isolated. And the only place that it was safe to go out was to go out into nature where we could isolate safely. How restorative, healing, how much it meant to our souls to get back in touch with that groundedness. It's why in our conversations around the Holy Trinity and the creeds of the ancient church, we begin with God, the Creator. One of the great heresies of the church has been to let one of those three persons dominate at times. And that has been what has occurred since World War I, is that the second person of the Trinity has been almost exclusive. And we've lost, with a few exceptions, the first and the third persons. They simply disappear, are melded in. Oh yeah, God the Father. Yeah, I remember him. But the creeds begin there, because it's there that we, as all, find our grounding. The opening lines of Genesis remind us so well. And God saw that it was good. All of nature is good, holy, sacred. And what happens when we forget about that is that nature just becomes a thing that we can use or, unfortunately, abuse. And we marvel these days because nature pushes back. We forget that it is alive. It's not just a thing. It is part of that good created order. And when we start messing with that order, there are consequences. And the same is true of the human order. God created us, all of us, in God's image and proclaimed it very good. All of it. One of the things when we allow that second person of the Trinity to dominate is that we somehow think that Christians stand above the rest of the created order. That somehow perhaps we are gooder than the rest of it. And we can do whatever we want and think whatever we want and look down our noses at whoever we want. That we have kind of an exclusive handle on God. That we get it right. And that gives us rights. What it gives us is a lot of responsibility, which we don't particularly care for. But what happens when we recognize that all humanity is holy, sacred, and God's? It's there. The failure to recognize that lies behind so many of the crises that we're dealing with. When life becomes a thing, it is so easy to just take it. Whether it's a school child, or someone of different color, or different orientation, or different gender, or different faith. When life becomes a thing removed from God, the Creator, chaos reigns once again. And we have seen it with our own eyes. We would do well to begin to see again through the eyes of the child the wonder and the awe of all of God's order and all of God's blessedness. That we live differently with the world around us and with one another. For this is my Father's word, and to my listening ears all nature sings, and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas, the hand the wonders wrought. This is my Father's world. The birds their carols raise, the morning light, the lily white, declare their Maker's praise. This is my Father's world. He shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to me everywhere. This is my Father's world. Oh, let me not forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. This is my Father's world. Why should my heart be sad? The Lord is King. Let the heavens ring. God reigns. Let the earth be glad.